In today's video, I want to talk about the things that matter the most in retirement. But here's the interesting thing. I've noticed over the last decade of managing wealth for retirees, the things that matter the most, that lead to a successful retirement, are often hidden or unobservable. Let me explain. Human beings are social creatures. Most of us need community, we need close friends, we need a close-knit family. But because we are social creatures, we also are status-seeking creatures. It's not just that we can have something and be happy with that thing on an absolute basis, but rather we compare ourselves to others. Relative value is more important than absolute value. Let me give you an example of this. Numerous studies have shown this exact finding in different ways. Let's say you are working at a job and you receive a raise. Going into 2024, you are making $20,000 more per year. Now, who wouldn't be happy with that raise? What a fantastic financial improvement. But as you walk down the hall in your company, you overhear a coworker who does basically the same job as you bragging to another coworker that they got a $30,000 raise. Studies show that instantly you feel far worse about your raise. You no longer are thinking about the benefits of receiving $20,000 more per year. Instead, you are thinking about the $10,000 gap between you and your coworker. Now, switch the study up and let's say you only got a $10,000 raise and the same scenario happened, but instead you overheard your coworker saying they only got a $5,000 raise. Studies show you are far happier in the second scenario despite seeing half the objective financial improvement than you did in the first scenario. This is because we don't think in absolute terms, we think in relative terms. If you start paying attention to this dynamic in life, you start to see this relative comparison and our need for them everywhere. Here's a trend I've noticed on YouTube. Anytime someone posts a video along the lines of average retirement net worth or retirement savings in 2023, it gets a ton of attention. People care deeply about where they rank amongst their peers. This, however, isn't necessarily rational. Your relative rank does not matter. Someone with $500,000 saved for retirement that only needs $20,000 per year from their portfolio is in a far better place than someone who has $5 million, but they need to spend $500,000 per year from their portfolio to be happy. And so this leads me to an interesting observation. When we compare ourselves to others, or we strive for more, the vast majority of the time, our energy and focus is put towards observable and trackable metrics. Rarely do we focus on what I'll call the hidden or unobservable metrics. But these hidden, unobservable metrics are really what matters in life. Let me give you a few examples. Here are some observable metrics. How much income we make, what our net worth is, or how much we have saved for retirement, what car we drive, what house we live in, where we travel and go on vacations, etc. Here are some unobservable metrics. How happy or content we are, the relationship we have with our spouse and family members, how much peace of mind we have on a daily basis, the amount of free time you have to explore your hobbies, how strong or healthy your body feels day to day, the quality of our sleep, our connection to a purpose bigger than ourselves. There is no reliable way to track the amount of peace of mind we have day to day and compare it to others. We can, however, track how much money we have. It's a quantifiable data point that shows up on our statement each and every month. And so because of this static-seeking nature, most people will aim to improve in the observable or trackable ways and will focus far less on the unobservable metrics. Now, my goal is not to say the observable metrics are not important. More money on average will improve your life and make it more enjoyable. But I think most people truly value the unobservable far more than the observable. If you take the 10 richest people in the world, there are something like 14 divorces between them. And think about how often we cheer on these 10 people as innovative, one of a kind, but their great wealth comes at a cost, often relationships with their spouses or kids. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's clear these people failed in the hidden metric categories. If the hidden costs were no longer hidden, I think it would be shocking how few of us would trade places with these heralded few. Now, this is an extreme example, but it can help inform us in retirement. I met a couple in the early part of 2022. They had roughly $7 million in assets, no family, and really no heirs. The gentleman was still working and they were invested 100% into stocks. Now, based on their income need, a normal dividend yield from their stock portfolio could more than cover their essential living expenses. Now, this couple had dreams of retiring and traveling, spending some of their wealth that they worked so hard to accumulate. But to be candid, they couldn't get out of their own way. They were invested all in stocks because This was theoretically the best way to continue to grow wealth, and they had the means to be aggressive. They could survive through bear markets. But they were fearful of spending down their portfolio because it was terrifying to see their balances drop after years of continual accumulation. Keep in mind they had no heirs and no legacy goal. This couple was strictly focused on the observable metrics and willing to sacrifice everything unobservable. From the outside looking in, they weren't all that happy, they didn't have a strong peace of mind, and they didn't have the free time to focus on health and hobbies they loved, like travel. They were getting caught in this trap that I so commonly see. Now, let me be clear. Some relative comparison is important. Take your stock portfolio. Over the last decade, the US stock market has grown by almost 12% per year. A 50-50 mix between US and international stocks has grown by almost 8% per year. If your stock portfolio has only grown by 2% per year with taking the same amount of risk, this is a worthy relative comparison to make. You are underperforming. Whatever you are doing isn't working. To get the most out of a retirement plan, we do want to compare on a relative basis the best option given the level of cost or risk. What we shouldn't care about is comparing ourselves to other people. Too often you are simply comparing yourself to someone with different goals. Say you are risk averse and you have enough wealth that you can accomplish all of your goals using safer assets. And your chief goal in retirement is peace of mind. Now, because of this, your portfolio is going to grow more slowly, but also grow more steadily. Do not get caught in comparing yourself to someone who is 100% stocks, wants to pass millions on to the next generation. It doesn't matter how big their assets have gotten. It doesn't matter that their wealth grew by 15% this year and yours only grew by 5.5%. You are playing different games. Here's a relatively simple exercise we can do, but it's only possible if we're completely honest with ourselves. I want you to take out a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle of it. On one side of the paper, write down observable metrics, and on the other side, write down hidden metrics. Now list out all of the metrics in both categories that are important to you. When you have time and space away from others to really think about this, what really matters to you? Now below this table, write down your benchmark for your retirement. Imagine yourself as 90-year-old you, and you're looking back on your retirement. What does a successful retirement look like to you? I have a client who lives in the north at a lake house in the summers and then goes down to Arizona in the winters. They do a ton of boating and family time in the summer, then head down south for golf, pickleball, and more in the winter. Their benchmark for retirement is as simple as their ability to maintain both places financially and be able to travel back and forth each year. They have tremendous communities and hobbies in both areas and have simplified retirement success down to this benchmark. They don't care if their portfolio loses $100,000 or gains $100,000. They don't care if they have $1 million or $5 million. They care about whether or not they can meet this benchmark. Now, to be fair, this is only possible because they trust deeply in their long-term plan. They do care that they're doing the right things quantitatively to get the most out of their money. But they've simplified down the constant thoughts between their ears, the what ifs, into a simple benchmark. They are succeeding if this benchmark is met, and they have incredible peace of mind because of it. I'd like you to try the same exercise. Look at your table. How much are you willing to sacrifice the hidden, important things in your life for the observable? Are you willing to sacrifice peace of mind for more wealth? To what extent? What is your benchmark for success in retirement? I would love if someone could figure out a way to have this document just automatically pop up every time they log into their account. It's a constant reminder to pull us towards long-term thinking and help us get the most out of our life. That's all for today's video. If you like the net worth comparison videos, here's one that I think furthers the message for how you actually should compare yourself to others. Thanks so much for watching. Always remember, you don't need more money, you need a better plan. We'll see you in the next video.